says I'm live. So hopefully I'm live. Okay. So I'm gonna wait, I think. I just wanted to, I'll just start talking because I know I'm eventually gonna upload this to my YouTube channel. Hey guys! Hi Nicole, hi Maria. Welcome. I'm doing a spontaneous stream. I wasn't even really planning on doing this, but I've been having a lot of downloads and things coming through, so I just wanted to like pop on here so I can upload it later and kind of get like my thoughts in order because it's just been a wild ride. Good, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good too. Thanks for coming in, you guys. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. That's right, it is Friday. I keep thinking today's Thursday, but it's Friday. So I have been getting tons of downloads, tons of synchronicities, tons of messages. It's been literally insane and like mind-boggling, and excuse the noise because he's cutting grass out there. So, but I wanted to get these thoughts in order and like talk about them and just see if anyone else has been receiving anything, and if not, maybe someone else has. But I've been getting all these messages, and I've been connecting with some of you guys via direct messenger and just talking about synchronicities that we've been getting. And one of the main things that keeps coming through is Tartaria. And this is something that just like keeps coming in and keeps coming through. And I just wanted to notate really quick that we just went through like a large portal. Hi everyone. That we just went through a large portal. Like we were just in, hey girl, hey Sabrina, Cosmic Oracles, welcome. We just went through Pleiadian lineup. So that's when our sun crosses with the Pleiades constellation. And that usually starts happening around like the 14th of May through like, I would say even through the end of May, beginning of June. That's okay. I understand you can't stay long. That it just goes to show like during these time frames, like huge things happen, like huge downloads and huge synchronicities. So I just wanted to hop on here and talk about them really quick. So my friend Sabrina that's on here, Cosmic Oracles Tarot, we've been like liking each other's posts, watching each other's readings, but I really started connecting with her this week, and we've been getting synchronicities like nonstop. I mean, they've been like firing off, and like they've all been connecting. Hey, Positive Academy, thanks for joining. They've all been connecting, and so it's just awesome. So I wanted to reiterate, like, take note of who you meet during this time. Take note of what messages are shared amongst you, what synchronicities, what things you're receiving, and date it. Write it down and date it because it's significant and you can come back to it later on. Even if it doesn't seem significant, because it might connect something huge later on for you. So like during these times, like I usually try to remember to write things down or take note of things, or at least take pictures of things that just like really sink in and connect, because later on, like even stuff from like a few years ago, I'll look back and like they connect now that made no sense in the past, but they make perfect sense now. And so it's wild how time really is an illusion because things just connect. And so, yeah, a lot of things that we've been getting have been, oh, and also I wanted to mention, if you go to MayanDreamspell.com, it's free online, Mayan Dreamspell, and you type in your date of birth, you can find out like really cool things about you in accordance to one of the oldest calendars, which is the Mayan calendar, the Galactic Kin. But you can also see, you could keep track of the days when we have galactic portal days. Galactic activation portal days are highly, highly cosmic frequency radiation days where we are getting downloads. We know things. We are seeing things. It's not just like downloads like we think we know things. Like we actually are getting intel, I believe, from cosmic beings or from the universe. Hi, Mile. Hi, Mikhail. I hope I'm pronouncing your names right. So welcome to the stream. So it's important to take note of this. It's also interesting to note that I did this a week prior to, because you can put in future dates, past dates, any dates. and calculate them and see what they will say. But I did this like a week or two prior to Palladian lineup happening this coming week, or this past week too. And a lot of those days were galactic activation portal days. I myself was born on a galactic activation portal day, and my dad was as well. But no one else in my family was. But we all have similar things that like connect in and like help you to like really open your eyes and see why things are the way they are. Like me and my dad, we trigger each other a lot. And I think it's because we're both very similar. And we're here to activate. We're here to awaken. And so like we either like super get along or we don't. It's really interesting to note like just things that you discover by doing those things. But you can put in any days and see when the galactic activation portal days are. And I promise you, those are days you're going to either be feeling really off because there's like so much energy coming in, or they're going to be days where you're just like bombarded with messages and synchronicities and downloads. Like it always works that way. So yeah, it's really good to notate those days, and also days where we're aligning with certain constellations. Also, not always taking those constellations verbatim either, because there's things that like literally are hidden from us. There's things that are hidden in plain sight. There's just a lot of things that you want to really trust your intuition on yourself. And just because someone could say that we're aligned with this constellation this day, maybe you're connecting with a completely different star system that day. Maybe you're connecting with Procyon, and all of a sudden you're receiving all these messages from Procyon or about Procyon, and you're like, why am I connecting with this star when I'm supposed to just trust whatever star you're getting and whatever day you're connecting with it. But also take note of when we have these alignments of like this huge galactic energy, because I guarantee you're probably receiving synchronicities, downloads, activations, ascension symptoms. Like it all interconnects. So without blabbing too much, I just wanted to talk about that first. Hey Chris, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I just wanted to talk about that first. Secondly, I wanted to know if anyone else has been receiving a ton of synchronicities this week. Has anyone else been receiving downloads, synchronicities, information, knowings, without knowing how you know it, without even knowing how you arrived at the information? So what happened to me last night, and I wanted to talk about this because before I forget, because this is why I write things down, because otherwise I will. I was drawn to a TikTok post that was talking about Harry Potter. Now, me and my friend Sabrina, Cosmic Oracles, who I think is still on here, we've been making connections with Harry Potter and Tartaria. She is the one, and I'm giving all credit to her, because she messaged me, and I had put a post on TikTok talking about Tartaria, and she messaged me. She's like, a lot of the synchronicities and information you're getting, I've been getting too. She's like, I really think that Harry Potter is a direct connection to Tartaria. And I'm like, oh my God, I would have never even thought of that or considered that. And I love Harry Potter. Like I would have never made that connect. And it's like right there in front of our faces. If you look at the architecture, you look at the premise of the movie, you look at everything surrounding it, it's literally right there in our face. So I was so happy that I connected with her and grateful, because we've made so many connections. Okay. And so if you look at the architecture of Harry Potter, it's like, oh, holy crap, like that's Tartaria architecture. And then if you're looking deeper into it, which I'll explain here in a few minutes, you're going to be like, holy shit, like it's all right there. It is literally all right there. It makes so much sense. And it's also interesting how J.K. Rowling names the characters after the constellations as well. We have Draco, Malfoy, we have Sirius Black, the dog star, the black dog, the black wolf. All of those connects, Beetlejuice, Bellatrix, all of them, and it's like really, really interesting. Also, we have the Horcruxes. Now, I'm just going on a rant, but I promise it's all going to connect here soon. If you look at the Horcruxes, it's basically like the pieces of the soul of Voldemort, okay, right? That are hidden throughout the movie, and people come across them and find them. Voldemort, of course, is looking for all these different fragments of his soul so he can come back into the totality of himself. Who else was fragmented in history that we know about? Osiris. Osiris was broken into 14 pieces, right? So he has all these different pieces, and it just, all these different similarities to the story connect. But I made a huge connect last night, not even trying to, honestly. I was just drawn to this TikTok. It popped up for me. Yeah, I know. Sabrina, my friend Cosmic Oracles Tarot that's on here, she's the one that made that huge connect. And I've been talking about Tartaria for some time. I started getting downloads about Tartaria during the Lyrid meteor showers. So it was a lot of Lyran downloads and constellation information. And now it's during the Palladian activation portals. So it's a lot of Palladian downloads and activation. And last night, I came across a TikTok that was talking about Harry Potter. And it was Severus Snape. And you know how he says, turn to page 394. We all know that famous line, right? And then there was a guy on there, I'll have to look up his name again. I will credit him in the description box below, but he made it connect where he's like, wait, 394, and then he's looking at the train station of Harry Potter, and it's 9 3/4. Turn to page 394. Train station is 9 3/4. 394 again. I'm like, there's something significant here. I know it. And I plug in the numbers 394. I'm like, what is the significance of the numbers 3, 9, and 4? It directly takes me through Google. And I don't really trust Google either. I don't really trust any book I read either. I just kind of go off my intuition and where it takes me. And then I make my best judgments from there because I trust myself over anything else. I trust source. So anyways, I plug in that. It takes me to the scientific notation of 394. 394, the scientific notation is that number, decimal point, times 10 to the third power. So it's powers of 10, right? Well, then I'm drawn to 369 because I'm like, I bet there's a connection with Tesla and 369, 394. Like I was just automatically drawn there. So I click on 369. And the scientific notation for that one is 3.96 times 103. So it's not 10 to the third, but it's 103. So I'm like, there's something here with the 10, the power of tens, okay, and the 3. Now, the Hogwarts Express train, I'm probably going to lose a lot of you on here, but I promise it all connects, and it's really cool. The Hogwarts Express train is 9 3/4. So the reason why J.K. Rowling wrote it as that is because it's basically a portal that can be seen by those with pure blood that have the magic and the know-how on how to see it, that can access that portal, that can access Hogwarts, right? And she wrote it as 9 3/4 as a fraction because she wanted it to be between the dimension of 9 and the dimension of 10, I believe. So the 9th dimension and the 10th dimension. So that's why I think she wrote it as that. So if you think about it like 9 3/4, like the in-between worlds and portal days, portals, galactic activation portals. So those with the ability to be able to do these things already know right now in this room that they can do it. And those that haven't been able to can still access them with port keys, which is why I think I'm not exactly sure on the reason of the port keys. It was either because the Muggles started realizing they could access these places as well and they didn't want them to, so they created these port keys to where only they could access them, or something like that. Or maybe it's switched. I have to dig into that more. But anyways, so I'm like, okay, there's more here with the 394, but I think what she was referencing was not just the train platform from the 9th platform to the 10th platform, but I think it has something to do with the in-between 9D and 10D. So there's something there also that I got. Then the 394 and the 3. So when Severus Snape says turn to page 394, it's right before Dumbledore hands Hermione the time turner. Okay, the time turner is something that you can use to time travel, to access back in time and change time. And we can do this. We can quantum shift. We can go back in time. We can do all these things. So it's really, really interesting that he says this and gives Hermione the time turn. And he says, I think 3 turns will do it. So you have to turn it 3 times. Okay. And he says that 1 innocent life might be spared tonight if you go back in time. Okay. So I'm like, that is really interesting that he says this to Hermione right before Severus Snape says, turn to page 394. What is up with this 394? Like, there's all these messages and all these things coming through. So at this point, I'm like, this is really interesting. So all of a sudden, literally out of nowhere, my guides are like, go to the notes of your phone, type in Tartaria. So I go to the notes of my phone. I type in the word Tartaria because that's what I'm drawn to do. So I do that, and like me, I like to dissect words. I like to look into the etymologies of words. I like to look at the words backwards, upside down. My buddy Tim likes to do this as well. The different languages of words. My buddy Ian likes to do this. But anyways, so I'm sitting there. I type in Tartaria. I'm like, okay, what else, Spirit? Spirit's like, type in it backwards. So I'm like, okay. So I type in Tartaria backwards. It's air at rat. Air at rat. And I'm like, that sounds freaking familiar, because I just watched a documentary with another friend of mine about Mount Ararat. So I'm like, okay. So I pull up Mount Ararat. This is where it gets crazy. Okay, so we're connecting right now the word of Tartaria, okay? The word of Tartaria, a direct connection of Tartaria linked with Harry Potter right here. Right here. It's huge. So I type in Mount Ararat, and I pull it up, and I'm reading about it, and I'm like, wait, this is actually where they found Noah's Ark, so keep that in mind. But also, I look down at the coordinates, you guys. The first coordinates, the 3 numbers, are 394. 394, 39.4. Turn to page 394. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I literally could not believe my eyes. I'm like, what in the fuck is actually happening? So I'm like, this is a big deal, because whenever Spirit takes me somewhere and it's significant like this and it connects like this, it always makes sense. It always ends up making sense. And chills. And I'm like, exactly, Sabrina. Yeah, she knows, because I've been talking to her about it. And I'm like, what the hell? This is wild. So I'm like, there's something significant here. I don't exactly know exactly what it is. I have a few ideas, but I'm like, there's something big here. Then I'm talking to her about my friend Sabrina, Cosmic Oracles Tarot. She's in here. I'm talking to her about what I discovered last night, because we've been talking about the Harry Potter thing. And she is like, wait. She's like, wait a second. You said Turner, the time turner. Turn to page 394, the time turner. She's like, Turner. She's like, didn't Tina Turner just pass away? And I'm like, yeah. Oh. She's like, yeah. I'm like, what? So I knew it. I knew it happened. I didn't make that connect. There's more connects too with this. Stay with me. There's more connects. So I'm like, oh my God, like that's wild. Like I didn't even think about that. Like I would have never made that connect if it weren't for Sabrina. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, what was Tina Turner's like famous song? And she's like, it's Proud Mary, like Mary Magdalene. We had literally just been talking about Mary Magdalene and all these downloads that we've been receiving with that. So I'm like, okay. Proud Mary, Mary Magdalene, huge connect. Yes. Thank God for Sabrina, because I'm like, what is all of this? Like, it's amazing. And then also, the Turners, also in Pirates of the Caribbean, there's Will Turner, right? And he's found with this necklace with the coin on it that has something to do with immortality and keeping the dead alive, right? I promise you it's going to all connect, and it's freaking wild. It's freaking wild. I have like an idea right now of how it's going to all connect, but it's wild, you guys. Like, I'm shaking. It's so exciting. But I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so Will Turner, and in that story, me and my friend Rashida had been making connections with that a while ago, like the pirates thing and the Pirates of the Caribbean and the ships. So they're on the boat gets turned upside down. And you could think of the reference of the upside down also like Stranger Things. There's connects there as well. Huge connects, because that has everything to do with time. Stranger Things, the original name of the Stranger Things show is going to be called Montauk. The Montauk Project is a government project that's like, you can look up declassified documents about it. And it had everything to do with remote viewing and time travel. Okay, so anyways, they flip the boat upside down. It's like really going underwater, which if you think about it is like the underworld, and then it flips right side up, right? So they're going under it. And then I'm like connecting it right now to the ocean, because if you look into, it's all connecting, it's wild, but if you look into, and this is coming through right now, if you look into the ocean and you research mermaids, what you will find is everyone wanted to find mermaids. Everyone wanted to find mermaids. Now, the stories and history and things will tell you that mermaids and sirens were dangerous and that they were going to kill you because they didn't want you finding out the truth about them. And if you look in movies and other things and even research yourself, you will find out that they hold the essence of immortality, which means they hold what's also in Harry Potter known as the Philosopher's Stone, the Sorcerer's Stone. It's the fountain of youth, immortality. It's also in Peter Pan, that was actually proven to be found by Captain Blackbeard, who was Captain Hook. Found it off of the, I forget what it's called. It was an island that they actually found on the map where they located it to be. But yeah, and Ponce de Leon and all that stuff. So it all connects. So I think in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, they had to spare the blood of the girl on the coin to try to like live forever, because like they couldn't eat, because remember, like the pirates were like ghosts and everything would go through their body because they were technically not alive. They weren't physical. They were only spirit form. And so they were trying to live forever, but they were bound to this earth plane. And so, and if you think of like the dead or the zombies or there's different layers to it. If you think of the reptilians, but there's different levels to the reptilians. Not all reptilians are bad. Not all of them are bad. You've been led to believe that every single reptilian is bad, but they're not. There's good ones, there's bad ones, just like any other race within the cosmos, just like any race here on the earth. And it's however you perceive it, actually. And you can even go further through that illusion as well, into a whole other wormhole of information. But so they wanted immortality, right? So they're seeking the blood of the girl. Well, in the king's daughter, the Sun King, funny enough, the Sun King, if you look into all religions, it's like based upon sun worship. Sun is like a portal. Sun is life force energy. Solar plexus is your stomach. Where they get the immortality essence from mermaids is actually in the solar plexus. And so they try to take it from the blood of the mermaid, the tears of the mermaid. You'll hear about mermaid's tears. It's even in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. They call it the profane ritual. And they say like 3 tears of the mermaid's blood, and they have the 2 cups, the 2 goblets. It's all spelled out. It all connects. And it's wild. It's wild because it connects throughout so many different movies and things. And that's what they do. They hide things in plain sight. So it's like really crazy now with the Little Mermaid coming out now. It's like, all these connects and downloads. Then you had Donald Trump on a conference talking about how we're in a battle with these mer people. Yeah, I think there's good ones and bad ones to everything, but I don't think everything is all good and all bad. You have to just really just go within and trust yourself and do your own research and things like that. But there's so many connects throughout these movies that actually connect with real-time events, real things that have happened throughout history that the government does not want you to know about, that even historians don't even, they'll probably discredit it. There's people that do believe that Tartaria happened. There's people that don't believe it happened. Personally, I believe it happened. I've done a lot of research on it. I don't know everything about it, but from what I do know, there's a lot that went on that connects and shows up within the architecture of the buildings. It's like right there. So also with them changing dates on the buildings to add 1,000 years, take away 1,000 years, like there's a lot of information about it. So it's just really, really cool. I also believe it connects with Atlantis. I believe a lot of things that are probably really out there that a lot of you probably wouldn't accept as a belief, but I think that's where the best beliefs and ideas and puzzle pieces come, is when someone has an outlandish idea that if you go diving further, no pun intended, further enough deep into it, you will find huge connects throughout it. Or it'll bring about a whole new insight or a whole new idea or a whole new way of going about doing things. So yeah, that's what I have so far. And there's more. There's actually mermaids in Harry Potter as well. If you look into Harry Potter, there's mermaids in that. There's the Sorcerer's Stone in that. If you look at the King's Daughter movie, there's the king going after the mermaid and wanting to kill her to get her immortality. It's also interesting how the girl's name in there is Mary, and she has this uncanny connection with the mermaid as if it's an essence of her. There's clues throughout everything. Now, I really think like a lot of this stuff like can connect with religion as well and can actually predate religion. From this live stream's crazy. I'm just gonna let you know it's crazy. But I've done a lot of research, you guys, and I've done a lot of, I receive things and they usually come true or they are true. And not to say that everything that I receive is true, because I'm wrong a lot of the times as well, but I'm also right a lot of the times. So, and even that's up for discussion. Who's really right, who's really wrong, yada, yada, yada. But I think in terms of like quantum, and I think in terms of like trusting your gut and your intuition, because I promise like what you're getting is probably right. So yeah, it's like you have to, when you're watching movies and things, you have to think about, okay, how does this apply in real life? And what is it that they're keeping from us? What is it that they don't want us to know? And if you think about it, we are very powerful beings. We have access to immortality. We are immortal. I mean, our spirits are. And so it's really interesting how, it all connects. But also what's interesting is I was doing a lot of research on Mary Magdalene and religion. There's truths and falsities to every religion as well. There's a lot of truth that connects it. There's a lot of stuff that just doesn't really make sense if you think about it. But there's stuff that also predates religion. So I'll get into that here too. I believe Mary Magdalene has something to do with mermaids. And why do I believe this? Because from the research that I've done, it's hidden throughout the movies as well. So if you look at the movie The Little Mermaid, she's depicted with red hair. Well, Mary Magdalene also had red hair. Not only that, when she's singing "Look at This Stuff, Isn't It Neat?" and she gazes upon the Penitent of Mary. The painting is called The Penitent of Mary by Georges de la Tour. And it's Mary looking and gazing upon the eternal flame, the essence of her immortality. And it's shown right there in The Little Mermaid that Ariel is looking at herself as Mary in that painting. She is also amongst 7 sisters. And what did they say Mary Magdalene had? 7 demons? Well, what if I were to tell you that 7 demons was actually a poison? It was called the poison of the 7 devils that someone spiked Mary's drink with and tried to kill her while she was actually pregnant with Sarah, her daughter. So there's also different essences to that 7. There's a lot there to the 7. I think there's even more actually that I haven't found. So Oh no. Can you guys see me? Sorry. Steve, I'm doing a live stream. Okay, I'll get you one. So I gotta get him water. But what was I saying? Oh, okay. So Mary Magdalene is connected to mermaids, right? So, and I'm grabbing water right now as I talk about this. Mary Magdalene's connected to mermaids. And I'll tell you more here in a second. It's really wild. Here, Steve. So, Mary Magdalene's connected to mermaids. Also, her last name derives from where she lived in, was it Galilee? Her last name, Magdala, derives from where she lived. Magdala means salted fish. There's one clue. Okay, and then also, if you think about how they depict Jesus and Mary, technically they were twins, twin towers. Like a lot of people will say that they were married, a lot won't. But if you just kind of dig into this with me for a minute, it might make sense to you. It might piece some things together for you. But I'm like rushing, so I'm out of breath, and I'm excited too. So hold on, let me drink something. Oh, and my Little Mermaid cup. Yeah, fitting. I have a lot that pieces. Okay, so her last name is Magdalene. The name Magdalene and the word Magdala derives from the word Migdal, which means tower. Okay. Hey, Cosmic. So this is my buddy Tim. He's also sent me synchronicities. I'm talking about all the synchronicities and things that I've been receiving. And yeah, I might have you pop on here in a minute if you're not busy. But if you are, that's okay too. But I'm just kind of like rambling, trying to get these synchronicities out and trying to connect everything for you guys, because it's really wild. It's like all this research that I've done, all the synchronicities and everything that like happens in real time. Like when they say that you're writing the story, like you're literally writing the fucking story. It's the never ending story. It literally is, because you're writing it in real time. It's freaking happening. And they say fairy tales are myth, but like, what if I were to tell you that I've had so many things happen that are like fairy tales that have happened? I can't believe you just said royal bloodlines then. Like, yeah, it's going to connect so much. Yes. Yes. You're right on it, Gaia. Mm-hmm. Yes. You were just talking, see, and this is why I did the live stream, because I wanted to see if anyone else was going to like catch on the wavelength or like catch on the synchronicities or the downloads, or if anyone's been receiving similar things. It's really just curiosity, and just to see if anyone can like piece other things together. But anyway, so Mary Magdalene, her last name Magdalene derives from the word Magdala, which is the city that she lived in. The word Magdala derives from the word tower. Now, if you look in France, there's actually a tower that's devoted to Mary Magdalene. It has to do with her know-how of how to do alchemy. Now, there's going to be significance there too, because turning yourself to gold would be like accessing yourself, turning your light body on, accessing, going through the sun portal. It's 12:21 right now on my clock. 33 is the year that Jesus died and ascended. If you think about the year that Jesus died and ascended, it was supposedly on the date of 3/22, March 22nd. They also say that March 22nd was the date that Jesus rose from the cross, Rosicrucians, the Rose bloodline, the Rose Meridian line, which is Mary Magdalene's line, the Primrose Meridian line. And also 3/22 is supposedly Mary Magdalene's birthday. It's also the vernal equinox. So it's where the sun hits, and we have the Primrose Meridian line that goes down the globe vertically, longitude, and then latitude would be the equator. And when it hits, I believe there's a church that's famous, and I forget the name of the church, but I can enter it in the description and find it after this. But I think it's the Renaissance Chateau. But it's one of those that's like really important and famous. But once the vernal equinox hits, it actually hits, there's a line on the floor of the church that's perfectly aligned with the primrose meridian line, which is the Magdalene line. And it directly aligns and hits that line, the sun ray does, and it goes up and it lights up Jesus' cross on the cross. And Jesus Christ himself is holding the globus cruciger, which is the clear globe with the gold cross on it, representing the vernal equinox and the golden cross and the sun. And they say that, religion was all based upon sun worship, because they believe that the sun was a portal. Because anytime that I've been in the sun, personally, I don't know about you guys, but I have had the craziest bilocation experiences, the craziest spontaneous remote viewing experiences, like where I've literally gone to places, either galactic or on this earth, and then I will come back inside, I will go on Instagram, and either that same day or a few days after, I will see those exact places that I saw pop up on my Instagram, because we know good old AI loves to spy on you. But anyways, that's besides the point. But they will show up those exact places that I had seen on the earth that I didn't even know existed before that happened. And then I have verified proof that what I saw was actualized. They took me to this one place that had like these huge peaks stone walls that I didn't even know existed. I had never heard of it before. And it popped up like 2 days later after I had spontaneous remote viewing in the sun. And it showed up on my Instagram like a few days later. So I'm blabbing, but there's just a lot to connect here. And this is how I download. This is how I channel, guys. So I'm sorry, I know. And I'm in Aries. I found out I have mostly Aries in my chart. I'm like a triple Pisces. I'm a Pisces sun and moon. I'm a Sagittarius rising. I'm a Taurus north node, and I have a shit ton of Aries in my chart. I actually have more Aries than anything. So Aries, I found out from my buddy who's an astrologer or astronomer that they're like, Aries are very, very quick, very fast speakers. So, and especially when I'm excited and I'm channeling downloads, that's how it goes. Did you mention the purple and the last name and Sarah connection? I'm going to, Sabrina. Bear with me. There's so much here. It's like she knows because she's been experiencing this also with me real time. Tim has, my buddy Ian, a bunch of you guys actually that I talked to have been witnessing these things happen and play out in real time, and they've been happening to them as well. Like they've been receiving things in real time, and it like all connects. And so I want to do like group live streams with you guys or one-on-ones with you guys eventually, and just to talk about our downloads. Me and my friend Agness have had this where we've had so many, my buddy Casey, my buddy Rashida, like, oh my God, so many of you guys, Amber, who else? I'm trying to, off the top of my head, so many, like I can't even keep track because it's literally every single one of you guys that I talk to, we get these downloads, we get these things, or you message me them first. So, and then it like connects. So I was talking about the sun portal, right? If you look at Serpent Mound in Ohio, it's the snake and it's eating the egg or the sun. I think it's eating the sun. I think the Serpent Mound represents like our soul as a Kundalini energy representation of being a snake form, going into the sun, like accessing the portal through the sun. And I've been getting like so many messages about that. I could be wrong, of course, but these are just the downloads of messages I've been getting. So I was talking about Mary Magdalene. Her name derives from the word tower. She has a tower dedicated to her in France. It's an alchemy tower. The goal of alchemy is to create the Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone represents immortality. Supposedly, when you eat the stone, all your hair, your eyelashes, and your nails fall out. You go bald. You basically die and become reborn, but in the physical matter on Earth. And so those who lack a soul or the know-how on how to work with the mechanics of the light body, the Merkaba, mermaid, Merkaba, solar plexus, light body, rainbow light body, those who lack the know-how and awareness on how to do this, or those who think that they have to live forever on earth for whatever reason, are after this stone because they want to live in the physical matter forever. Me personally, I don't want to live here forever. Like, I'm coming here to do my work, to share what I'm supposed to share, and I want to go back to wherever the hell I came from. I don't necessarily want to stay here forever. If God wants me to, then I guess I will, but I don't really think he does. But anyways, so it's interesting stuff. And I only know like a tidbit, okay? So anyways, also the Philosopher's Stone will transmute any metal that you take into gold. So if you take, let's say, iron ore, and you apply the Philosopher's Stone to it, it will transmute it into either silver or gold. Okay, so there's a lot to it. A lot. They're telling me something about green. Oh, the green lion. The green lion. So yeah, that's also like an alchemical thing. I think it has a lot to do with a lot of different things. I don't want to get too off topic here. Okay, so we were talking about Migdal being the last name. Okay. Mary Magdalene, last name Migdal means tower. We got that, right? So supposedly Jesus and Mary were married, and supposedly they were twin flames or twin towers. So what do you think 9/11 was about when they took down the twin towers? What do you think that was about? A direct attack on twin towers. Twin flame ascension. Could I be wrong? Of course. But it makes sense to me when you think of the last name and you think of how it all connects. Now, what's interesting, you guys, here, this is wild too. What's interesting is 9/11 is my birth time backwards. 9/11 is, my birth time is 119. Okay. It gets crazier. It gets really wild here. And I'm being very vulnerable sharing a lot of this stuff, so bear with me. So 9/11, 119. Now, I believe that the energy of Jesus also incarnated in many different avatars and forms prior to him being Jesus and even after him being Jesus, okay? And I believe, if you know about twin flames, that Mary and Jesus are an essence of the same soul. Which means if he resurrected into his light body, then she did too, technically. Okay? I also know about prior things leading up to Jesus and Mary. So I know about like Ishtar and Inanna and Isis and Osiris and Horus and all of that. There's so many different accounts of things that really do. It's like a game of telephone, kind of like you tell a story and it continues on, and like people kind of like replicate the story or try to like make the story into their own kind of thing, which is like why you really can't trust anything you read, even if it's factual, because facts literally are just a person's perspective, one person's perspective on the matter. You can't say something is solidified in stone when nothing is actually solidified in stone. Nothing is. Even if you say it's stone here, everything is malleable. Nothing is really actually material. Everything is an energy. Okay, and that's why Tesla says, like, if you're going to work with anything, even in the material realm, you want to think in terms of energy and frequency and vibration, because literally that's what everything is. That's why I don't believe in facts, because even if something that I say to be true could be literally disproven in like 2 seconds afterwards. And why would that happen? That would happen because we're at a level where our consciousness is growing and wants to open up and to be able to perceive more, because it's hungry for that. It knows more. It knows better. And so we're all led down, a wild goose chase or a rabbit hole, leading into another rabbit hole, leading into a black hole, leading into a white hole, leading into... So there's so much, and what's interesting about... we could talk about my last name. This is like a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. And Thank you guys for bearing with me. But it connects. So if you look also into like the Anunnaki, like there's a lot there too. I've been drawing, what is it called? Ian told me what it was called. I think it's like the Dinger, but it's the 8-pointed star. I drew it just the other day here. This one here, the 8-pointed star. Okay, that's like a symbol of Ishtar or Inanna. It's like really interesting stuff. A lot of people think the Anunnaki are bad. I don't know if they're all bad. Like, I don't know because I didn't grow up during that time. I could bilocate perhaps back in time. That's something that me and my friend were talking about recently too. So that's definitely a possibility. Like, I've done some things where I've done quantum shifting back to my inner child to heal things. So why couldn't you go back prior in time? Like, I'm sure there's many ways to do things, but I think it's important to probably figure out the best way to go about doing that and have some methods and put into place trial and error before you just go full throttle into it. I have a bilocations course that's really awesome if you're interested in any of this quantum stuff, quantum traveling through the light body form. That's like really awesome. That'll help you a lot. Shameless plug. But also, there's just a lot here, you guys, and it all connects. Like, if you look into like Ishtar and the 8-pointed star, like Ishtar and Inanna, like Ishtar laid eggs. Okay, there's also a correlation with that in Mary Magdalene, how Mary Magdalene showed Pontius Pilate the egg in front of the full court of people to prove that Jesus had resurrected. She said, "I'll turn this egg red." She holds it before them, the egg turns red. The egg also represents, I think, because the way it was depicted with her holding it in a lot of pictures and things, it's like a pine cone. And then you think about the pine cone, the pineal gland, right? And like where we are able to remote view is through the pineal gland, where we're able to see higher dimensional beings through the pineal gland. You know, it's like our third eye. It's the third one we see, 3 turns. Third eye. Okay, so there's a connection there. There's just a lot that connects. Also, the pine cone looks like a dragon's egg. If you look at Game of Thrones, she's holding the dragon's egg. Okay, so there's like a lot of connections here with reptilian beings and also humans. There's, like I said, there's good ones and bad ones, depending on what you like to call good and bad. And just like anything else. So, but I think there's a connection here, you guys. I keep being drawn back to mermaids. Mermaids. And it's not just because I like mermaids. It's because, like, I've known my whole life that I was one. And even people that I know immediate to me have had dreams of me being mermaids without me even telling them that I liked mermaids. There are people, strangers, that have messaged me things that literally know nothing about me, that just know things about me. Okay, so it's really interesting. You have, okay, oh, you can hop on before your phone dies. Are you here still, Tim? Are you here, Cosmic Daughter? If you wanted to hop on, you can. I'd love to have you on. You have an 8-pointed nautical star on your upper back. You got it when you were 18. Oh my gosh. That's, wow. I had no idea it was connected to the goddess when I got it. See? I've been drawing this star like my whole life. And like, I think it has a lot to do with many different things. I have to do more research on it. There's so much, you guys, that I want to talk about, but it all connects. Like the mermaids thing, like half human, half mer. Like, I believe that a lot of our origins come from that. Like, I just do. I think that's why they try to villainize mermaids. I think that's why they try to hinder us so much. I think we hold a lot of power. I think we are them. Like, and I'm not just kidding. Like, I really do think we are. I think a lot of the stories in the movies are literally a mockery towards us, making fun of us in plain sight. You look at any movie or story, it's got it in there. It's got some sort of hint or some sort of reference to it that's in there, pointing you all the way back. And like the Anunnaki too, like the Dogons, like the fish people, like there's something there, you guys. Like it's not, and well, people say, oh, they were just bad and they just did this and they just did that. Well, maybe some of them did, but maybe not all of them did. Like I really want to, oh, here we go. Are you still there? Yay! Hey, Tim, can you hear me? Tim! Can you hear me? I'll give it a minute and see if he's able to connect. Agness! Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Hey guys, welcome. Okay, so I'm talking about all the synchronicities that we've been receiving. And I'm trying to get Tim to come on. I'm hoping he can. Tim! Can you hear me? I don't know if he even knows he's on. Okay, hold on one second, guys. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Oh, hey, Kim, sorry, I had to walk away. I was called to find a cone because we were talking about cones. Okay. This is actually a spruce cone, so God. I couldn't find. There's no pine. There's always pine cones, but the area I'm in is called Claiborne Village. It's one of the oldest towns in Western Canada. They used to make bricks here, but yeah, there's a spruce cone for everyone.
Wow, that's so cool.
How are you doing?
Thank you.
It's funny that you mentioned purple because I'm wearing purple. I have purple socks. Look at these beautiful irises behind me. They're in purple and white.
Dude, my mind is blown right now. I'm wearing.
Are you really?
Purple.
Yeah, it's coming through, right? And that's that Saint Germain, that Christ consciousness, Mary. It's all coming through, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. I like knew you'd be receiving similar stuff because you always send me stuff that's like right on point.
Thank you for saying that. Always. Yeah, I'm kind of in character right now. I'm dressed as Sparks Hathaway from the Astronomical Spa Society. If you're not, shameless plug, if you're not following the Astronomical Spa Society, please do. It's pretty fun. Yeah, it's fun, but it's also on point. Fun.
Yes. And you guys, Tim, like I'm telling you guys, like Positive Academy says purple means awakening. Tim has received so many synchronicities, and like he will be places and he'll send me photos of things like he doesn't even know that I'm researching at the time, and it's like direct correlation things. I'll send him things and he's like, you would never believe this. Like we're like mind blown all the time, and it's like me and my friend Agness, we do this, my buddy Ian, like it's just we're on this wavelength, you guys, and it's like
and you can do it too. If you just allow that energy to come through, it's amazing. It amazes me. I watched YouTube videos that I made 2.5 years ago, and there's codes inside the videos that I wasn't even aware of at the time. It's incredible. I don't know how it happens, but it happens. You know, it's cool.
Wild. It's so cool. Yeah, and it like really correlates with like how time really is an illusion.
Agness Lovehealz is here.
Like,
hello, Agness.
Yay! I love Agness. Me and her, we do the same thing. Like it's nonstop. She gets, oh my God, Tim! Like she sent me this necklace that had the letter M on it. That looks like it was literally from Mary Magdalene. Like it's old too. It's like ancient. Like her husband had it. So it's really interesting. It was passed down to him.
You mentioned like, a green lion this morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I saw a green lion. Let's just take a walk here. I'm actually at a church right now. This is a church beside me. I'm drawn to churches. I don't know if it has. I'm a PK, which means preacher's kid, which is a blessing and a curse. But so there's the address. It's 4304 for those that are into numerology. This year. Is that Tesla coming through?
Tesla.
Yeah, so that's an old church.
Yeah, well, his year of death was 43. So whenever I see 43, it's
is
like
it?
a code.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, this is cool.
It also adds to 11. 11 Stranger
Things. Well, I've had a lot of ones coming through, and fours, like this area, this Claiborne Village, there's another number. This is kind of a spiritual spot, 4314. So it's, you know, this is divine timing. I think you coming on and doing a live, because you don't do a lot of Instagram lives, so you're listening to Spirit is telling you to do this, and I think it's important. It's our time, right? Yeah. Yeah,
I think so. I don't know. Like, I just, like, when I'm called to do things, I just do it. Sabrina said it's 1143 where she's at.
Yeah.
Cosmic Oracles Tarot. She's been getting a lot of stuff too. But yeah, the 1443. Well, Tesla's date of death was 1/7/43. So January 7th of the year 43. He's been coming through a lot. Like,
yeah. And if you're here, if you're listening to this, and you don't know who Nikolai Tesla is, I would look Tesla up and read about the 369 theory. It's interesting. I don't know as much about it. My buddy Ben knows a lot about it, and I know you know a lot about it as well, Kim.
Okay. Yeah. It comes in. And it, you know, I have to write things down so I don't forget, because
stuff. Yeah, you do have to write it down. Do you have a podcast? Are you thinking of having a podcast? You could have one just on Tesla, right?
I would.
Yeah.
I could. I was spontaneously gifted a microphone by my father-in-law. Was not expecting that whatsoever. So
yeah.
I could.
Have me on as a guest. I'd love to do that.
I really rarely. I don't know. I scare people. Like, even when I do these lives, like, I notice, like, people come in, they're like, "Oh, who's this crazy chick? She's just rambling." Like, and then they, like, jump off.
I know the feeling. Yeah, people's first reaction to me is, "Oh, that guy's crazy." You know, even in some cases, my own family.
Yeah.
I swear, I saw a green lion here this morning. Let's see if I can. Oh, no, it's not green, but it says Lions International on this old tin behind me. That.
Oh my God.
Can you see that? Yeah, so I noticed that before you even started talking about lions. And then this is Claiborne Village Store, 1912. Let's see the sign there? It's a cool spot. If you come up to BC, this is near Abbotsford. It's a heritage village. It's really cool. And unfortunately, they're closed they're closed from May 1st till May 31st. They open again June 1st. So there's the ones coming in again. May 1st, May 31st, June 1st. 3 ones, right?
Yeah.
3 as well.
And also that page 394 took me to the scientific notation of it, which is 10 to the third, which is a 1 and a 3 again.
So if you're looking for a sign, there's their sign, 1912.
A double-headed eagle?
Where?
Is that a double-headed eagle, Tim?
In the center. It's some kind of design, but it could be an eagle. Kind of looks like an eagle.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh. And then here you mentioned alchemy. Look at behind here. Look at that old tin that says Gold Bank. Can you see that?
Oh my gosh. Oh
so
my
you are the Gold Bank. Whether that's, you know, Yellow Brick Road, whether that's physical gold or if it's alchemy. I think it's alchemy with people. We are the gold, right? So it's like our Arthurian legend. Merlin was trying to part.
Did you know
Merlin
is Merlion?
There you go. Yeah, mermaid lion. Yeah. So Merlin was trying to alchemize Arthur. So he said to Arthur, "Look at that oak tree." And Arthur's like, "Well, that's an oak tree. Who cares?" Right? And Merlin said, "No, if you really look at that oak tree and you really see it, it'll blow your mind." So I think that's a message to all of us.
Oh my God, Sabrina said, Dorothy. It's wild.
But yeah.
Gaia wrote Golden Era Narnia, and Sabrina wrote, I have an aunt named Dorothy.
Wow. So all this Yellow Brick Road. Yeah, Yellow Brick Road.
Oak Tree.
And if you go back through Kim's posts, I think you did a post about Yellow Brick Farms, didn't you? Yeah.
Yes, I did with you. Yes. That was
and
wild.
That place is weird. I want to walk in there because I drove by it the other day again, and I want to walk in there because something metaphysical. There's something going on there. I don't know if it's extraterrestrial or if it's an Earth-based consciousness. I'm not sure, but I want to investigate. Probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'll go up there and do a video.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely watch it. That's
well,
awesome.
My phone is going to die, but I appreciate letting me hop on.
Okay.
Thanks. Keep following Kim. She knows what she's talking about. And if you need to know your starseed ancestry, she's the one to talk to.
And Tim, Cosmic Threader, he does tarot, and his YouTube channel is awesome.
Thanks,
so
Tim.
Go follow Cosmic Threader.
Okay, have a great day. Bye, guys.
You're welcome. Okay, bye. Oh, that was so cool. That was so much fun. Agness, do you want to come on really quick? If you're available, if you want to, or Sabrina, or anybody can come on if you want. Just request to join. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But yeah, it's just like been wild. Like when I was getting like the Dorothy stuff, Agness was sending me the Wizard of Oz stuff, like stuff that didn't even have to do with that movie, but other movies that like directly correlated to that as well too. So, oh yes, okay, I got you, girl. I got you. I hope it worked.
Hi guys, hold on one second. I'm just going outside.
I'll keep trying if it didn't.
Can you hear me?
Did it work? I hit accept. Maybe it'll. Did it work, Agness? Gosh, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I hit accept though. Maybe try again if it didn't work. Because it's not showing now.
I'm spinning.
Agness, I need you to come on. Because me and her, we've been getting so much stuff too. So much happening in June, yeah. Yeah, I feel that. There's going to be a lot going on. A trip down another rabbit hole, yeah.
Kim?
Oh, it says that you're unable to join. Unable to join. Can we try it again, Agness? Let me see. Here we go. Accept. Okay, I hit accept. So hopefully. With Tim's, I had to hit it twice. I don't know why. I was spinning. I don't know why it's not working. I'm hitting accept, but it's still like showing down there. Frickin' Instagram. Oh, it's so frustrating. Let us connect, Instagram. I know you don't want us to because we're high-powered people. She said I was spinning when she tried to connect to me. I'm just going to keep hitting accept till it accepts it. It's saying you're unable to join. I don't know why. Is there a way I could do it? Let me see if I can. Am I able to add you? I don't know how it works. You're going to exit and come back? Okay, cool.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Can you hear me? Damn it, I can't hear you. Wait, say something. Say something.
Hey,
Yes!
you can hear me?
They tried, but they couldn't keep us apart.
They couldn't stop
They couldn't stop
us.
us. Listen, today's the first day I got dressed all week, okay? So the fact that, like, you're doing a live and I'm actually dressed is a miracle.
I'm a buff. So I'm a buff.
So many things. So many things. And when you're talking about the lion, it's like so much, right? I have these wild cats that are around my house, and there's 3 of them. Like, the 3 corners, right? Like, and the one, and I tell them always, like, I telepathically tell them, like, you're allowed to be around my perimeter, but don't terrify me again, because when I was a kid, I got attacked by it, and, like, the lions and all that, right? But it literally sits outside of the deck, like, all pretty, this orange cat, and just, like, sits there and looks around and just protects, because it's part of the timeline that we're walking into, which is what we're going to be clearing, is like the Egyptian timelines, right? Because we went through the Lemuria and Atlantis, which was first the upper chakras, which was hella Christos energy. And the lower chakras also actually opposite. So lower were the Christos energy, and then the spiritual ones, the upper chakras, were the Mary Magdalene. Like, it was the bloodline of that, right? And that always comes in circles, and it always ebbs and flows. But right now what's happening is that's why so many lions and so many cats and so many things are coming up, because we're walking into this Egyptian era, which is like Sekhmet, which I work with every day, and she has the lions that choose. She sits back and they choose who they're supposed to come in and, like, select for information and healing and all of that, right? So I think it's so interesting how these cats started coming around again. And Chanel, my dog, is definitely, like, reincarnated from a freaking cat, because she literally acts like a cat. Like, she doesn't act like a normal dog. She just follows me, rubs against me.
Bentley was
Yeah.
the same. He would climb
Yes.
the edges of couches.
She goes under. She doesn't sleep on her bed. She sleeps under like a cat. Like, you can't get her to stay on the bed. She's just a cat. So I told Bart, I was like, maybe we should just build her like a cat house or something, because maybe she needs that for protection or something.
She just,
Yes,
like, identifies
she does.
as
And
that in this lifetime.
she opens
And
doors
doesn't
by
feel like
herself. She opens the doors. And
Bentley did that. Bentley did that. He would jump up and get the handle. He's a bulldog. He's like 65
I
pounds.
don't know. I
How
go
did
into
they
the
do
rooms,
that?
and lately, like, when Kayla was still here, she would go in there because she would be pissed she wouldn't come home, or, like, she'd be out at, wherever, and she would come home and she would, like, pee and piss, like, and shit in all the rooms. Since Kayla left, she just goes in to clear the rooms and protect them, and she doesn't do anything in the rooms. It's so weird. Like, so many shifts have happened.
Yeah.
So many fat shifts.
It's
Super
wild.
I know.
It's wild, isn't it? That's crazy. I believe it, though. I believe they do that. I also think, like, I don't know for sure, but if you think about, like, reincarnation, because I've seen such wild shit, like the dogs being able to open doors. Kenzie, when she was really little, knew we got her this little power wheel for when she'd get older and grow into it. Well, my husband propped her in there, and she's talking beep, beep on the horn, couldn't even talk yet. And she's adjusting the rear view mirror.
I'm going to blow your mind right now. Are you ready? So this is what I learned.
Yeah.
That babies, you know how we say, like, light language, soul language, love language, whatever we want to call it, right? What I found out is that when the babies are talking, like, babble, and we think it's gibberish and they're talking nothing, if you are to do it, if you're to reverse whatever they're saying backwards, they're literally speaking light language and actual words. Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Mm-hmm.
that
It's
I
so cool.
believe it.
It's so cool.
That's
But all the
wild.
Tesla stuff that's coming up too, because like towards the end of April, it was so intense. I don't think any of us were able to even hold space for anyone online. Like we had to be hermit, step away,
No,
like ground, do her
we
own
all were like that.
healing. It was so
Yeah.
much. And what was happening was how I explained to you the one time, like how we have the infinity symbol, right? And clearly infinity, 0 point, that's all Tesla also. It's all energy fields, right? So when we're spinning this way and it's
Yeah.
going so fast, the timelines and like everything's going so fast and we have to literally like audio record or write everything down, that's when we're
Yeah.
clearing all these generational timelines like back and forth, like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, without even realizing it until after the fact. Because it's like you got to look in the rearview mirror to put all the dots together, because it's
Yes.
never in the moment. Like you and me
Yeah.
sometimes will be on text for like
Yeah.
hours, like, and then the next day we connect it like, oh, we got it. And then when it
Yeah.
slows down,
Yeah.
the infinity goes upwards. So then that's when we can start connecting things and it kind of goes a little bit slower and we're in our bodies. Like I've been having to be outside every
Yes.
day or else I feel like I'm in a portal.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know where I am. What day is it? What time is it? Where am I?
That's how I was, Agnes. That's how I was too. Like, and I love how you explain that with the infinity symbol and everything. Like, that gave me freaking chills
Yeah.
everywhere because it is like that
No,
because you can't
you
keep
can't.
up with the downloads. Like, you can't even function even really because you have
Yes.
ascension symptoms too. And like people are like, oh, like even
Yes.
I feel the energy from people, like especially like with YouTube and stuff. Like, why aren't you
Yeah.
uploading videos?
No.
Why aren't you doing this? And it's like,
No.
and like some
Yeah.
people get it, some people don't. But it's like I
And
can't. I'm just trying to live my
we're
life,
we're
like
trying to
just
be
trying to survive here,
spiritual
get Kenzie to
beings in a
school.
human body. Like what the hell? Like it's a lot for us too.
Like,
I had a
yes,
ladybug. I had a
it's a
ladybug in my
lot.
dream last night. I had a woodpecker in my dream yesterday. I had a black jaguar last
Wow.
week and a parrot. So many animals and messengers that have been coming through. And the message that I got loud and clear was, we are going through all the medicine wheels, like all the four corners, right? Because it's like you have yep, the winds of the
Girl.
south, the winds of the west, the winds of the north, the winds of the east, right? Like we're
Witch, yeah,
clearing
good
all
witch.
of that. And it's never ending. It's not like we clear one time or we upgrade one time or we get downloads one time. It's an ebb and flow. It's a forever thing. And so each one of us finding our
Yeah.
own ways to be able to connect to community, other people who we can connect with, that we're not like, oh, we're crazy. Like sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I really think I'm losing my mind this time. Like, yep, I think this is it. Like, but
We
we're
all,
not. It's
yeah,
meant to
yeah,
happen that way. And we're
yeah.
not supposed to know what's coming sometimes. And they do put up a veil sometimes because they don't want us to know too much, because it not only is overwhelming, we would
We'd
literally
explode.
combust. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
We probably turn back
uh,
into star form.
yeah.
We just like supernova.
And the
You know?
Star family has been coming through so hard too lately. And like I'm sitting on the deck and the hummingbird just came right now. I, you know me and my
Oh
birds,
my
like
gosh.
we're like one. I mean,
I do. Snow
it's
White.
just like, so that I said Star family and the hummingbirds came and they're the Arcturians. Like you can't make shit up. And people will be like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about.
No.
No, we do. Because we have receipts
Crazy.
for days, for years. Like,
Yes.
yes.
That keep coming.
Bart doesn't even,
And through others. It's
yes,
not just like, and like, don't, if you feel crazy too, like that's a great point that you
yes,
brought up. Like, don't feel like you're crazy because I promise you're not. I promise. I talk
yes,
to so many people. Agnes talks to people. Like, we talk to people all day long. And like, they'll say the same thing. Like, I feel crazy. Like, I feel like I have no one else to talk to about this stuff. And that's why, like, the mission is so important because, like, whether you
yep,
believe you're doing it or not, you're doing it. And when you're talking to people and you're helping people to
yep.
realize, like, they're not crazy too, it's so good
Just
to
being
feel that
you.
because like
Yeah,
a
just
lot
be
of us
you.
didn't have that.
Just being
We didn't
you
have
and
that.
elevating your vibration and walking around, you will, oh my gosh, you will not believe it. first time this year, oh my God, the dragonfly. Like, I can't, like, it's just keeps coming.
Oh
It
shit,
keeps
that's
coming.
another one.
But
Yeah.
the point is that, like, so it's community unity. And it's now like we're out of Mercury shadow period, which that shadow period was the worst shit I've ever experienced in my life, probably ever.
You know what's crazy too? If you think of the word Mercury,
And
mermaid, cure,
myrrh, also
mercure.
the herb that they would burn, or like the incense.
Yes. Yes, myrrh.
It's wild.
Yes.
But it was needed for us to be
Yes.
stripped down to like our soul essence, to realize that we have to come back into the heart center, because what are we walking into? Lionsgate. And you and me know for 3 years, like when Lionsgate comes, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, they're coming here hard for us to connect back to our heart center, to really come from a loving place. But first, we have to get stripped of everything to realize we're even grateful for that.
Yep.
It's been,
man, that's been like the whole theme this year.
oh yeah,
it's
been like in every way, and you know, every day, in every way, in everything, right, is just being able to realize that, yes, we'll go through hard things, and people and animals and our loved ones, you know, transition. But I really do honestly feel, because I've been seeing this through so many, you know, like soul family and clients, and through you, and like my sister's fur baby had just transcended also, and like Tina Turner yesterday. It's so hard, right? But what do we get from that? Like, what is this teaching me? Is this huge heart expansion to really like memorize, like memorialize them, right? Like cherish those beautiful memories we have with them, because they're now our biggest guides. They're the ones leading the way and protecting us. Like they needed to, because my sister's like, oh, I didn't even have an opportunity to, like, you know, just to be made aware of it, because he suddenly got congestive heart failure, like with water in the lungs and everything. It was so sad. But Kayla was there. How wild. Like, Kayla was supposed to move like month before that, but she happened to go specifically on that time. My mom went there too to see Kayla. It was like, not that it was perfectly aligned, but I said, sister, I said, he couldn't give you a sign, because just like you, Kimmy, when we're so connected to our best friends, it has to be sudden, because we would never be able to let it, not only let it go, but it would hurt so much more, right? So we as spiritual beings in the human body, we want to hold on to that, right? But they're like, my time has been served, and now you have to evolve by yourself, but you could always call on me. So that's what I want everyone to know. Like, no matter what you're going through, not that we're built for this, but we're meant for this, because we're the stronger ones. That if it's happening to you and you feel like this is it, like I honestly can't do it anymore, like this is too hard for me, that means something beautiful is coming to replace that for you. And I truly know and believe that and see that and feel that, and it's been happening over and over. So just because one thing ends, just like 1001, right? The 1010s, every ending brings a new beginning, no matter how we look at it. And if we surrender to that and honestly, truly believe that, it's so beautiful. And all my guides are saying is like, okay, guys, stop talking. Tell Kim she needs to come now. We need to go to, you know where we got to go. We got to just go. And I was like, okay, calm down. We just got out of Mercury retrograde shadow period. Like, we just integrated all these things. It's going to happen. But you are coming this summer for sure. We're doing the deck this weekend. Who the fuck does their deck out of nowhere?
I was talking to Steve about it too. And I just knew you were going to do stuff with Kayla and like, and everything else that's been going on that you were talking about. And it is like how you mentioned, like divine timing, where everyone was aligned and there for that specific moment, and why things don't always work out the way they do either is like a good reminder that they're not supposed to sometimes for your best and highest good. And it's listen, like your ego
I
is
curse
like
out the universe all the time. I'm like, fuck you guys, what the hell? Like, I'm always going at it with the universe, right? Like, with my guides. But
we all do it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, on Memorial Day, I'm doing...
And when it makes sense then, like, once you like, sit back and you realize, like, oh, shit, like,
that was sync or destiny. that was meant to happen, but it's always looking back in the rearview mirror. You can't really put things together. Yes, I mean, we can. I mean, at this point where we are, yeah, but like, it still sometimes doesn't make sense because, like, we'll go back to things that we've channeled, like you were talking about with Tim, like a year ago, right? And it just makes sense now. So that's why even when Kim gives you like a timeless reading, or I do that with my clients, that's why we record it for you, because even when I got a reading from Kim like so long ago, there's still things, bits and pieces that are coded in there that are like the soul essence, like the key codes that are not met for that time, or are met when you're in a different vibration where you could receive it fully, right? Where it's like, oh, now that makes sense.
And now we all hold them, and we all
Always.
activate each other. We all pieces, and it's like so crazy. It's like no wonder the government wants
11.
to keep us separated so much. And yeah, of course, there's like other factors and things into it. Yeah, 11. But
it all backfires anyway, because it's like we're the ones that kind of put ourselves on the line, right? Because a lot of people get downloads and information, and that's why a lot of times for me, like, I write it down, but I kind of hesitate to talk about certain things because, like, it's not for everyone. And that's why we have to have discernment also, right? To not put people in fear or, like, freak them out or scare them. But there are those that do recognize and understand. So, I mean, if we had a podcast, holy smokes, we would just literally be like,
I do this more like friends and like
so much.
That comes,
my phone is full.
Like it's like
I freaking love it. And now Bart is like, babe, he pulls up to work and he sends me a video like zooming into 555, and there's always a meaning with that for us. Like, that's our number in the family. Like, that was his number. His grandma, when she transcended, it was her number. When she came at 555 in the morning, it was a deer. Like, girl, if I didn't write it down, I wouldn't have the receipts, right? But then I go back and I'm like,
don't you though? Like you it's almost like unbelievable. Like
it's wild. And I feel like this is the rise up, right? We start from the ground up. We always get brought down, not only to our knees, but to our understanding, to our full self, to be like, okay, I give up. Whatever's meant to be is meant to be. And then we start coming back on the line. That's why it's okay if some people get upset, because not everyone's meant to go in every single, level up with us, right? And sometimes they got to go through their own things to kind of either get there, and everyone's on their own journey. And that's why we can't all get to the same vibration together, because we all have to hold space for one another in different ways. And when I saw Kenzie singing,
like there's even been things I've realized with my own self lately where I'm like, I blocked myself from so much shit, like my stupid damn
I have
ego.
that
You know what
same
I
feeling.
mean? Like happens because then it helps you to realize to have more compassion not only for those people but for yourself and for everything, the circumstances, and it helps you to grow. It's 111 right now.
11 people in the room. Look, 11111. Oh.
Yeah,
but that's
really
the thing.
cool.
It's all for soul evolution, right? It's all, every experience is needed, because there's always a message in the mess, right? There's always something beautiful to learn. So what I learned in these past couple months was literally like, so what is this teaching me? Like, I know it's hard, I know it's brutal, I know it's sad or upsetting, and sometimes it's very hard, but what is this teaching me? And how can I allow myself to believe and surrender? And then when you go through other experiences, you're able to then compare and be like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. So anytime that there's, and focus on the positive, and it is hard, right? But we have to find a way to be able to anchor something in from like a relatable perspective, to be like, okay, well, if that happened and I still rose up, that means I have to surrender and believe that this time too, I'm going to evolve and learn something from it, right? Another dragonfly, like, you can't make shit up. There's so much. And when I heard Kenzie singing, I literally like lost it. I was kind of like crying. I was like, oh my God, yeah, she's doing it. Like, she was always meant to do that, right? But she's just a star. Like, she was just literally brought here to just be like, hello, I'm here. You know, we get in our heads, but children are instantaneously connected to spirit. And they're just like, listen, I know, okay? You can't tell me nothing. And that's how it should be. And I love that you allow her to do that, you know?
And I you're so good with Kayla too.
Well, now that she's 18,
really
I'm not going to say too much, but Lord help me. Oh, God. You know how it is. When we were 18, from 18 to 23, we were rebels.
Literally scary. When I was like in my teens, my hormones were so bad that like beyond, think like Dr. Hyde, like my parents were angels for putting up with me, because I was so.
I'm grateful that I have the ability to like have come this far, to understand and have the empathy and the recognition and beautiful soul family that all like help me understand certain things. Because I mean, I'm only human too, right? I mean, I sometimes get in my head and lose it too, but like, it's so nice to have one another, that no matter where we are, we can always fall back on someone. And that's what I wish for everyone, is that, you know, you have other people that you can at any time rely on, but always ask them, are you able to hold space for me right now? Because sometimes we can't. I'm going to tell you right now, sometimes I can't. Kim knows, like, if we don't answer, we don't even care. We're like, all right, yep, we're going through something. I'll catch her next week, or I'll catch her in 3 days. You just have to kind of tune into your knowing that it's not always straight. It's like, you know? But Bart's been singing so much lately that it's wild. Like, and he's pushing me out. And he just texted me too. It's so wild. He's been pushing me out of my comfort zone, because, like, we love to sing, but sometimes there's other shit that comes up, you know? And it's like, oh my God, the ducks are flying by. They never fly at this time. Sitting ducks. That's what we were doing, is just like sitting and waiting, like we were in the void. And now we're walking into this new highest timeline, and no one said.
I thought there
was
something wrong with me. You know, like how you go crazy. Like, but I literally thought there was something wrong. Like I was beginning to question everything. Like literally everything.
Yes.
Like, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing this. But I had to hold that faith of that truth that I know within me, of like, what I feel is what I'm being pointed towards. And if you just trust that field and that feeling and that flow, like, it's hard, right? It's hard to trust that, but like, it's also hard to surrender. It's a good mix and balance of both. Like, letting go, okay, well, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Then that's fine. I'm just gonna go surrender. I'm just try it all, because like literally you're multi-dimensional. So there's,
like I say, I'm many things. Like, I'm not just one, and we never will be, right? But always know that right during that breakdown, there's always a beautiful breakthrough waiting. And it's always in those moments when we feel like you're questioning yourself or you can't do it anymore. That means you're literally at a brink of something that's coming in that you're not supposed to know about, because you would screw up your own process of self-learning, you know? Like, it's just so wild. These glasses are super annoying. It's so hot here today. I'm like, how are we going to do the deck bar? Like, are you sure we shouldn't wait till next week? And he's like, oh, no, we're doing it now. I'm like, okay, sir, whatever you say.
Yeah, that's how it is with Steve too. Like, when he wants to get something done, it's like gotta be then. And you know, me and you, we're like the rebels. So
if I'm not doing it today, you're gonna be doing it by yourself. I'm just gonna sit here, look pretty. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll cheer you on. I'll be your
But
cheerleader from the side.
it's
Go
so
Bark!
amazing. And I love you so much. And I can't wait for you guys to come here. There's so much to do.
I know. I know. I know. Just hanging
Oh, we're
out
gonna
is gonna
like
be a
explode.
blast. You know.
Girl.
I know. We already do it. We're like not even in the presence of each other. We're just like
Just the
talking
trees.
right
The
here.
trees are already like,
So
oh, wait till
yeah.
Kimmy comes. She's gonna see this tree and this tree. And my little fairy thing that's down there that literally looks like the tomb of Jesus
Very
and shit. Like, oh my God, it's
gateway
oh, I
and
can't. That's like my
Montauk
favorite thing.
and all that
And I told Bart, and he's
things.
like, okay, but like, you know, you guys are gonna need some like bodyguards. And I'm like, it's cool. Like, yeah, you know, we'll feel it out. You know, we're not gonna we can't go in there, but like, we'll be from afar.
If worse comes to worse and we can't go in there, if worse comes to worse and we can't, we
That's
can
exactly what I was
bilocate.
thinking. Duh. We could be at any place, anytime.
We could do it now if we wanted to, but like I want to be physically there before I bilocate because I want to pick as close as I can get to that.
Me too.
You know,
It's
I'm
fine.
crazy.
But Bart's been going to all these places that he works by because he works towards the city. But there's literally like the oldest cemetery, like probably in that county, that's from like World War or whatever. And every time we would go there, I always feel like the horses, the soldiers, like the essence. And the other day he like recorded it and I was like, oh my God, there's definitely something here. Or just like when we went to Lake George, I'm like, Kim, something was there. Like there's something going on. Even when you come, we could definitely go to Lake George. Like it's so freaking cool. But
Quarries are huge because we have a quarry by us as well. And there's something big with that. I honestly think it just links in like,
yes.
you know how water holds memory and all that shit? And like how deep they go and like everything. It's literally bringing in
All
like,
that.
you know, like Tartaria, mud, the buildings that go below the earth. Like if you think about things that literally go below the earth or just any connection to the earth, like you're going to receive things no matter where you go, no matter what you do, no matter who you're in contact with. And the importance of it is it's 119 right now, my birth time. The importance is being open-minded enough to allow yourself to receive anything, no matter how crazy or silly it sounds, because like I get questioned a lot by people like, am I crazy for thinking this connection? Am I crazy for thinking that? And then you question yourself, like, am I crazy for thinking this or that? And it's like, just be
If
open.
you're thinking it,
Why do you have to put a
if you're
label on
thinking it, it already is.
Like your
If
brain
you're
wants to
thinking
think
it,
you're crazy. Yeah,
it
your
already
brain wants,
is.
and it's not our fault because we've literally come into this planet criticized and critiqued and brainwashed and manipulated from an early age to believe a certain way of the status quo when really like what the fuck is the status quo?
Human
Like
made?
what the fuck is anything? And
Human
be
made?
open-minded.
Like, come on. So I can tell you too, like starting today is officially blah blah. Or from today we have to do blah blah. Like, no, you got to have your own intuition and your own discernment, right? But what I heard is also with like the buildings that are underground or like Atlantis, all of that, right? What I always hear is, although those physical things are descending, the soul essence is ascending. So it's like that's why we're able to connect to all of these places, because it's not a place, it's not physical. You can, with essence, connect. I learned that in shaman work. We learned this in bilocating. We learned this in traveling, you know. But it's just the truth. Bee, milk and honey. Hello, the bee just came again. Like, it's just being able to connect with your heart and soul, right? Like you could imagine what a place looks like, and that's what meditation's for, is to use your imagination or your third eye to be able to see what comes through, because who says that it doesn't look like that? Maybe to one person's perspective or their view of their way that they're seeing things, or based on the experiences they had, it looks one way. Even if me and Kim were to get the same download, clearly if we were to draw it out, it wouldn't look the same, right? Because it's not meant to, because we're all so unique. So just trust it. Trust it.
Yeah.
One last thing I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Mandela Mandela effect, as Bart always laughs because I say Mandela, okay? Whatever. Mandela effect. He got me the Concrete Rose hat because that song has been dear on my heart for like ever in regards to Tupac, right? And he got the hat. It says Tupac. It's spelled out with the rose. Tell me why on the label of the hat it says the number 2, PAC.
Stop.
I was gonna wear the
That's
hat today, but instead I wore this one because it just covered a little bit more. But it's so, and I first spotted that in the car on the radio. Bart actually spotted it because, you know, we activate them. So he's like, since when does Tupac say Tupac? And then I was thinking like, oh, 2 of them? 2 timelines? 2 options? Just like that word Riri, right? That was on the license plate. That blew my mind. It's like, boom.
1, 2, 3 right now.
It's mirror images.
You're right.
Of one another. So whatever our experiences and whatever rabbit hole we go down, that holds true for us. Doesn't have to hold true for anyone else. But if it does resonate with you, go for it. And look everything up.
Yep. And trust your gut.
That gut will never steer you wrong.
Go with it. That feeling of thinking that you're crazy could literally hinder you from exploring so much. You know, like, so, like, let go of that. Like, we have to learn to let go of all that stuff. And it's hard because we've been so conditioned.
Let it go and live and flow. Literally, just let it freaking rip. And if you have to get, and feel it all. If you have to get angry, scream it the fuck out. If you want to be sad, let it out. You don't want to have those chakras start getting stuck because then it's going to start affecting you in other ways. And then you're going to start lashing out on other people. And we have to take responsibility for ourselves. We can't put shit on other people because it's not their shit, it's our shit. And be able to distinguish what's yours and what's not. Listen, I mean, we could sit here for days and months and hours and have, like, you know, I told Bart, he's like, so why can't you write a book? I'm like, babe, if I was to start writing a book, it would be never ending. It would be like endless amount of shit that I wouldn't be able to even keep up with. So I'd rather do a podcast or something and just keep talking. It's just so much.
And it's like, I feel like you activate more through your voice too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, you know?
I love that.
I found like thinking about like the whole crazy thing. Like I was sorry because you know I'm like obsessed with that. But they said, you know, like the asylums are also that architecture. They started popping up.
And I was going to tell you about that. That's where Bart went, and that's where I had the most downloads. I have to send you the pictures. You're gonna be mind blown.
Wow. So they found out like the asylums, they would put the adults in when they started having memories of Tartaria or recollections or talking about it because they didn't want anyone to talk about it because it was the government reset. So they put the parents in the asylums. Remember all the orphan trains with all those kids and like and the incubator babies too. Like there's a lot going on there. I don't know all of it, but I think like the orphan trains were from those parents that they put in the asylums, and the orphan trains they took off away from Tartaria, so that way that connection wouldn't be made from their parents to them. But they try everything they can. That's the thing. They try everything they can to separate us from the truth or from the knowledge of it when we're already all connected and we have access to it anytime.
It's a false, it's a crazy way to look at it that someone is being portrayed as crazy or or like a you know, whatever.
It's a really evil thing to do to anybody.
Right.
It's
but
not
the thing is that separation part of it only lasts for so long. Like, Anne Frank keeps coming up, right? Like, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the new one, is all about the new way, just like that show Thoth with the children who are made in the petri dishes, and like they had antlers or they were half animals. Like, it's so many different things that are coming through for us to look at. To look at, right? To investigate for yourself. Do the inner, you know, inner knowing for yourself. Like, does this resonate? Does this not resonate? Maybe it's just a new way to look at something, right? But don't knock it till you read it, till you try it, till you go down that rabbit hole for yourself. Because you never know.
Right. Well, like, and also like, the thing you said about the animals, like, gets me to think about the DNA and how they manipulated the DNA and populated the Earth and everything else. And Noah's Ark, you know, I made that connection too, because that was like a DNA bank, two of every animal, female and male, to preserve the future after the flood. But like, what if like the flood was already here? And what if Tartaria was actually Atlantis? And what if we were all actually hybrids of animals like mermaids and dragons and everything? Why are our animals opening doors if they didn't have a prior life to being human prior? If we also had lives of animals, or what if it's all like a hybridization, or what if it's all connected? What if Dorothy's red shoes symbolize a cutting off of the fin
or blood,
to have 2 feet?
Or blood.
What if, like, you know, I have all these crazy things that come through, but like literally just like dive in, because like who the fuck really knows? Because we don't really know for sure. We have history to tell us some shit, but like
you got to read between lines of that too.
You can't trust what you got to do. Yeah, because like everything.
You know what I
kept
getting?
And
what I kept getting is not only mirror images, right? But like we're coming back to that age again of how Atlantis fell. It was for power, for ego, for technology, for all of that. But we're the ones to do it right this time. Revisit, reevaluate, realign. All of those things, right? But I feel like we have a little bit of like dibble dabble in everything, because think about it. We are old souls. We have been through all of these different things, and that's why there's bits and pieces that come on the line, because it's all simultaneously happening.
Right.
And that's why it's so hard to keep track of that.
About time. We've been programmed to be linear. And then when you go outside of linearity, that's not even a word, you start to feel crazy, because you're taking on so much more than what could even be like humanly possible. So then you're labeled as crazy, when really you're just the sensitive tuning into all the multidimensional aspects of you and the timelines 100%. And everything else. Because you are part of everything. You're part of it all.
We are fragments of all of creation that's experiencing itself through all of us. That's why this was never, this was never a conference call. This is between you, the creator, divine, whoever, female, male, it doesn't matter. We all have that essence of masculine, feminine within us too. So whatever it is that you want to connect with and believe in, that's completely fine. There's no good or right from that. But just know that we are all just a version of the mirror of ourselves experiencing, and we mirror different things to connect things, to try to remember, because we chose not to remember it all, because it would be too much. It is too much.
It still is too much.
But
if we can't handle it,
so imagine if you got it all at one time.
We want to know everything, but honestly, like if we can't handle it now, like the way at the rapid speeds that we are receiving it, and like how are we supposed to know everything? I mean, maybe that's why God fractalized himself, so that way he could intake little bits here and there, and like
real. And then it goes down to the whole thing of like, okay, so we clearly can't experience everything, but the way to connect to that everything is through the heart, right? Is to taking that breath, closing your eyes, and connecting back through that heart center where it all lies, because everything is connected. It's just a matter how you perceive it and where you are or what you want to be open to. And no matter where you are, that's perfectly fine for where you are for you. Don't try to rush things, because this is the perfect analogy. If you were to get all your meals at once from your whole entire life in one meal, you wouldn't be able to hold it. You would explode. I mean, you wouldn't even be able to pass through most of it. So if you were to get... I mean,
I kind of want that.
But if you were to get all the blessings at one time, I mean, maybe you would be able to hold it, but then it would be too much if you were to even express it or tell somebody else. They'd be like, okay, this girl has definitely lost it, like, so it's just, they
do that.
I mean, I don't care anymore.
So it's just
call it what you want to call it, we just are. and just be.
But what's cool though, like, yeah, because like even if people say that
What's
you're
the worst that
crazy,
could
that's
happen?
fine. Maybe they're not ready.
You already think that anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Like, allow people to progress at the rate that they want to, and don't feel that as a hindrance to hold you back from expressing what you need to either. Like, just allow it to
That's
flow.
it.
That's
And
all you
every
need to
experience is
do.
needed for that next evolution
And
of yourself. Like a part of us has to go. Like we still will tap into old behaviors, old ideas and things, and that's okay too. Don't be hard on yourself. Like if you fall back to doing something like I'm never gonna eat this, right? I don't do that anymore. I bless my food. I'm not supposed to eat gluten. Guess what? I've been eating it, but I just love on it and say, that's okay. Right now I'm meant to have it. Maybe I'm supposed to remember why the hell I shouldn't have it because I'm gonna have a bellyache, but I'm not gonna have a bellyache. It's all about, it's just
to controlling that, because it's like
it's a balance.
balance. I
I
had
love
Chipotle yesterday and the day before because I haven't had time, and then like he was like, "What do you want to eat?" And like nothing was sounding good. He's like, "What about Chipotle?" I'm like,
That's always for me. That and ramen. Listen, like, okay, I'm gonna say it. That's like my favorite shit. But Chipotle with the vinaigrette that they have, oh my god, like
"Good, isn't it?" We love the vinaigrette. You got to ask for the vinaigrette if you've never had it. It's a wild ride experience. But
eyes rolling to the back of your head kind of thing. Like it's like a foodgasm, like for real, like.
But sweet, but tangy, but not salty, but awesome, and not even
That's
that. Like
my jam.
so
Like that's my jam. And there were so many animals.
I only get it sometimes because my friend Diana like freaked me out about it. She's like, there's 300 calories in just the vinaigrette. And I'm like, well, thanks for ruining it for me, but I love it. I still get it sometimes, but I actually forgot to get
The one time they
these last
didn't send it, and I literally chewed him out, and I said, listen, if you ever do that again, just please don't do it again. I'm still gonna order it, but just don't do it again. Just don't do it again. I can't.
Do you know who I am?
I can't do it without it. I don't do it. How could you do that to my heart?
It's like what my sister said when she was really little. We went to McDonald's and they forgot her ketchup, and she goes, "But Mom, the condiments are everything."
If there was no sriracha in the world, I would be the most sad person ever. If there was no sweet and sour in the world, I would literally not be okay. Like, it's life.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, if you like spicy stuff, you love sriracha.
There's so much. But the one more thing I was gonna say. Whatever animals you're seeing, whatever, like it's been coins lately too. The angels reminding me because sometimes it gets rough, so they're like, we're here. The animals, look them up. I mean, we had black bears in the front. Me and my raccoons. Like that was a whole show. We had Anne Frank in the attic.
That was Apollonia, the raccoons, Apollonia and Apollo and Rhea and
the apple.
Yeah, and the apple.
Yes, and I had the magnolias at my neighbor's. I was like, can I cut a couple of them, please? They're mine. It's wild.
And I found out magnolia oil does connect to Mary Magdalene because my friend Janet messaged me that she went on a something to do with Egypt, and there was women there that she connected with that were of that Magdalene thing, and they used magnolia.
My grandma always had it.
No way! Your grandma always... wow, that's so cool.
Like perfume, like think about it. Grandmas would only resonate with flowers.
And the pods on the magnolia tree are in the shape of a pine cone. They look like a pine cone.
And I have
like the
pine trees in front of me, behind me. Like, it's so wild.
And Anastasia, The Ringing Cedars of Russia books by Vladimir Meager, where she talks about the pine cone and the pine trees and the vibrations that they put off, which is why they call them ringing cedars. And and the mermaids of Warsaw.
That whole thing blew my mind. That whole thing blew my mind when I was like, oh my god, I just realized we have the sirens in Poland and the dragons and all of this other shit. Like,
where you come from? From where you
but
come
I was
from.
only chosen. I chose that to only come through as a portal so that I can connect back to there. But like, think about it. I came here at 8, hence infinity. Like, manifested, co-created, went into a building to be like, listen, you're giving me my visa and I'm out. Like, who the fuck does that at 8 years old? But I did that because I knew that there was a higher purpose, right? Like, I healed that, whatever it was, timeline or ley lines or whatever the fuck it was, right? To come here. But think about it. We don't actually clear those things where we're from until we're older, if we get to this vibration or understanding of what the hell's going on. So then we just time hop. And then we're like, oh shit, and this and this. It's a never-ending story.
It really is.
Literally, like that.
It really is, though. Yeah,
I love it.
it's so cool. And yeah, you it's so cool that you're able to connect that too, about like where you came from and how you went through that, and how you are here now, and how you're connecting things back to that, moving those things back from there here to here, and here to there, here to there. Like, you're just able to make that connection. I think that's so freaking awesome and really cool.
Because we are infinite beings, infinite possibilities, infinite perspectives. It doesn't matter. Just be you, do you, and shine bright. Like, just be the light. Embody it. Embody the highest timeline. Like, don't get held back by things. I still do. I mean, I still overthink things, but then I'm like, who cares? I need to do that. Even if it's good or bad, I need to learn something from it, period.
I jumped on here like a babbling brook, and I was just like, I don't even care. I know I look crazy. I know I sound crazy, but if I don't record these downloads and get them out there,
I've been getting that same thing.
Crazy. So no matter
I've been getting the same thing,
crazy,
even for a couple minutes, just to come on here or like just give an overview, because sometimes we can't give the details because that's not meant for everyone, but like the overview of like whatever's going on, so people don't think that they're losing it, right? Like, that it's okay.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah, because we felt that so much, and like we didn't always like have someone there during what we were going through. So it's good though that we had those experiences, because then we can be like, oh, like, wow, that must feel really good for someone to be able to have
an anchor. To have an anchor. Like,
yes, this is okay. Yes, because what they're going through is even more intense in a sense, because of the plasma.
Oh my God.
And everything.
That's a whole nother day topic. Like, what the hell? We could sit here, guys, all day. So if you're enjoying this, make sure you like, comment, share, so we can do this all the time, because that's what it's about, right? Is coming together with other people to help even expand our mind not longer, maybe longer, for a longer time, but for, a greater understanding.
Yeah. The greater. Yeah. And expansion.
Always. We're forever evolving.
Oh my God. I have to tell you something, Agness, before I forget. I have to tell you. So, and Sabrina knows, because Cosmic Oracle Tarot, she's in here, and you guys will love each other, like, once you get to talking. Like, I just know. I can feel that when you feel that. Like, everyone, because we're all the same peeps, we really are in and of itself. But I'm rambling. But anyways, so I found something like really crazy. I was talking with her, and me and her just connected like this past week, and she does tarot readings too. And I had posted something on Tartaria. She saw that and was like, downloads that you're getting, I'm getting too. She sends me this link to surnames and last names. So I click on it. It's a coat of arms for your last name. I click on it. I look up Sarah, which is my last name prior to it being changed by my ancestors from Hungary over at Ellis Island. They would change your name to have it sound more Americanized, supposedly is what they said. But what I feel was to have you cut off from your ancestry line and the lineage, and to be able to figure things out and piece things together for yourself. So I don't know, but that's how I feel. But anyway, so I type in my last name, which is Sarah, Sara, and it pulls up the coat of arms. It's in a different language, which led me to another website, which was in a different language below the coat of arms. So I couldn't even read what it said below my name, Sarah. So I copied and pasted it, put it into Google Translate, and it's saying all this stuff. Okay, cool. But the last line wouldn't translate, which was still in a different language. I'm like, that's weird. So I copy and paste that, put it into Google. It's Portuguese for blood in purple. Sagnarum de Papurum.
Do you know know how
last
many
name.
friends that you
So
know how many, like, I lived in a town that was all Portuguese and Brazilian when I was in high school, okay? But
really?
that leads me back to
Wow.
what you just said, what I just felt energetically is like holy cannoli, like super Mary Magdalene, super Mother Mary, super divine feminine energy is like, oh my God, on another level. And the Saint Germain thing, that's the connection with me and Bart. Like his part of his essence was Saint Germain. Like he's just all knowing. He just fucking knows. Like I don't have to say nothing. Like, and then so I'm the Portia, but like it all links together. But that is some wild, magnificent, amazing thing. But that's huge. Like I'm gonna have to sit with that. But there's so much.
I think it's the key. I think
Yeah,
it's a key for all
that
of
just like
us.
activated something within
I
me.
think it's a key. That's why
Yeah.
our names get changed. Like it's like, yeah, you could say there's only like a certain group that's this bloodline, but like technically we're all the same bloodline if we all come from source.
Absolutely.
And it's just like remembering, connecting different things to figure out things about your past ancestry and things that are so important because they help you have understanding about the
that you are
person
now.
that you are
Yep.
now. And they're cut off from us.
Wow.
And it's like, well, if you think about it, if that holds true, then we're all technically
we all
part
are
of
in
that
seven.
bloodline.
Divine feminine.
I think.
Like, listen, it's
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying.
I think it's beyond like too. It's not
Yeah,
that
but
that even really matters. Like, because in spirit, we're all. But it helps us to understand
absolutely.
down here, I think.
Absolutely, for here. Because sometimes it's hard to be like, well, what was I? What am I? It doesn't, it's not that it matters what you were, but it matters for your kind of like grounding and into this body to be like, oh, I honor that. I respect that. I love that. And there's so much throat chakra clearing, girl. Oh my goodness. It's been.
Well, it's like if you think about it, we have borders and we have countries and we have things cut off. I'm this.
Division.
I'm that. We were at war with you. You were at war with us. I'm this color. You're that color. I'm this gender. You're that gender.
Yep.
You're a mix of those genders. You're this. You're that. Like, stop. We are all one. Whether we want to like it or not. And sooner or later, we're going to have to face the fact of that, is that we are. And yes, while those things and our uniqueness make us us while we're here, and it is important and it is beautiful, because we wouldn't want to all look like each other, be like each other anyways, even though we're programmed to think and believe that way. That's what they want us to do. But if we were to really be that way, how boring of a fucking world would it be? How would God even be able to experience himself? He wouldn't unless he was fractalized.
Listen, oh my
like
God, don't even get me started right now. Girl, you just it just all keeps coming in, and then the whole Osiris thing is like, I'm telling you, it's like back from the dead. Get it? Like, we're all always burning down, like ashes to ashes, dirt to dirt, dust to dust. But then we always rise up, because it's always, you always need shadow, you always need light. Hi, P. You need both, just like you need to understand that there's good, there's bad, but it's what you make of it. So the faster you're able to understand that we're connected to all of these things so beautifully, but we're all going back to the same place where we came from, what the fuck does it really matter? You come together as community with other people to connect with one another, to learn more deeply about yourself.
It's frustrating that like there's so much placed against us when we just want to fucking co-create and like coexist. And it's like now we're having a issue. We're like trying to we're having an issue decombusting things because like we have so much beliefs that are built up within our mind that we've been programmed to believe to be true, that were never actually truth to begin with. And now we're realizing that, and we're having the hardest time like overcoming that, because it's like you listen to the same song over and over and over, it's going to get stuck in your head. Correct. To start believing it to be true. But here comes a new song
that contradicts everything,
That's why you
then
need to
there's
know both
conflict.
sides.
Because then you're like, hey,
And what I
you have to
just
know
heard what the
both
truth
sides.
is, TRUTH. The TR is like tray. Like I heard 3, right? So there's always 3 aspects to everything. I don't know why that just came up, but whatever it did. So then there's 3 paths or 3 ways, or it's always finding a place in the middle, right? It's the 3, meaning like here, but find it here, like here. What resonates here? What does it matter?
Yeah. And it's okay, like if we are different and we come into conflicts with that too, because even that is good too, because then like we learn and we grow and we evolve from it too. But it's like, it's understanding. It's just higher like being almost like taking it on from like what God would like, or source, or whatever you believe, like the higher inner too.
That's why the hawks have been coming, like the white hawks every day, because it's looking.
My friend actually just saw one that was wounded on the ground, and people were trying to help
it's looking
it.
from that greater perspective of like, what does it really matter? What does this really mean for the greater whole of self, right? And don't be hard on yourself.
It's true. It's easy to be because that's how we're programmed to be. And even raised, sometimes people are raised to be like, oh, you're a bad kid.
It doesn't come easy.
It's like,
and it's taken me a long time for this year to finally be the year that I actually let my mom know how I felt, because I was always the quiet child.
Wow, good for you, because that's bravery, man. I still haven't had that conversation with my dad.
Well, my dad, that's a whole nother story, because I came here to him, right? But they're so, it's just beautiful, like, but that's the whole thing, is like, we're here for either a short time, a long time, a beautiful time, but every single time that I connect with those who have transcended, the one thing they always say is, what does it really matter? None of that matters. If I could do one thing over again, it would be to have more time to do the things that I love. Not the 9 to 5, not the work, not to fight, not to do all this bullshit. Just do what you love. Even if that offends your family, or spend time more with your family. If you get along with your family, beautiful. If you don't, honor that.
You're going to face resistance. You're going to face resistance for doing stuff like that. But like, at least that one thing a year, at least to do something that would go against that will cause resistance, and challenge yourself to just one thing. Because like, dude, I'm taking my own advice right now, because I get caught up in it. Like, I get caught up in the loop where like I burn myself out, because I feel like my value is, even though I know this is not true, but I feel like my value is validified on that, the work that I do, the output that I do, what I do. But it's not. It's a program. And it's like, we identify it, but we have a harder time reversing it, because it's been embedded in us. But our mind is powerful, and we can utilize that to overcome anything. Our heart's even more powerful.
This year has been the year that I have honestly been able to use no as a full sentence. To my family, my loved ones, my clients, people, places, I don't care. If I feel that something is not gonna give me peace and sovereignty, and it's gonna screw me up energetically, that's a F no. Including going even to different families. Like, that's what I had to tell my mom. She's like, oh, but I want to see you. I said, and I love you and I appreciate you, but I just feel in physical, there's certain things that we haven't worked on, because like sometimes our parents are also brought up in a certain way, and they're not willing to look past different things, and we just accept it for what it is. But that doesn't mean that I have to accept it and be there. I could love you from afar. I could love friends from afar. I said love to everyone, but that doesn't mean we have to. You don't have to. It's either you want to. Does your soul call you there or not? It's been a huge thing I worked on, and people are like, whoa. And I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, because you're acting different, and then they're like, shit, I don't have control over her anymore. What am I going to do to gain back control? And it's like, we have to just all be like open to holding space for everything, and just go with it and go with the flow. And it's okay if like people want to do something. It's also okay if people don't want to do something.
No, it's not
life or
it's
death.
not for us to do
It
either.
really is.
The only thing we can control is our own reactions and our own self. And the choice that anybody else makes, that's not on us, right?
Yeah.
We honor ourselves.
Yeah. And to learn how to through manipulation, to learn how to work through and identify manipulation, because there's a lot of that. And sometimes people are doing it subconsciously, like without even like realizing that they're doing it, and that's okay too. Like hold compassion with that. You can hold compassion with that, but you can also distance yourself from that. It doesn't mean you have to like, you know what I mean? So like I struggle with that still, like a lot lot of it.
It's been forever,
I'm working
girl.
with it.
Like once I turned 40, I was like, oh hell no! Like this is what midlife crisis is like. Shit, things need to get cut the fuck out. Cut here, because I had to feel more like myself. Like I couldn't do the old way, and like I was still teaching Bart and Kayla. And listen, there were times when they would even go to families or events and things, and I wouldn't go, girl. You know how hard that was for me. But when I finally did it the first time, I was like, oh shit, okay, here I go.
I've been doing that too. Like when my parents, like, or my mom especially, she'll do this thing where she like guilt trips, and that's a manipulation too, in a sense, if you think about it, because you don't want to do that to people, because you never really know where that person's at mentally or physically. Like you can tap in and like kind of tell, and you can feel energetically, but like sometimes people don't even care. They're so selfish that they just like,
they make it about them, how they feel.
Want to pull you in.
That's what I told my mom.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, it's not fair that I hold space for you, but you won't hold space for me. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I understand. So that's where I get tripped up. But at the same time, it's like I've been able to say no to things, and I haven't been able to before. And I say no a lot more than I usually used to. Like I've
have a lot
changed a
from
lot
the first time we did our live to the live we did now, girl.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Like, and I'm proud too. Like I remember when we first started talking, like even when we first started talking like through voice messenger, you were like a little nervous, and I was like, it's okay, you know, like you can open up and like talk to me, like it's cool, like, and I understand, because I have the throat chakra thing big time, like
garbage truck time. I think that's time for us to go, because that's like raccoon, like hello, get off the phone, trash bandit.
What I'm saying is I'm proud of you. That's all I'm saying is I'm proud of you.
I love you.
You're so awesome.
I love you so much. We'll talk again soon, and we'll do this again soon, because there's so much we could talk about.
Yes. That was awesome. I'm so happy Agness came on. Yeah, because me and her, we've been getting so many synchronicities too, so many downloads. It's literally been insane. It's been wild. Yeah, but I'm really glad that I was able to come on here with you guys. I might actually do another live later, because there's just like I said, there's just been so much that has been coming through and coming in, and so much I want to talk about with you guys. Yes, I have it marked as saved, so I can share it with you too, Agness, and I'm gonna upload it to YouTube too, so I can send you the link there too, and through here. So yeah, I have it marked as saved, so it should save. But yeah, I'm gonna jump off of here. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. And I didn't really get to complete the full download and conversation, but that's okay, because I can do it later on. And you guys know me in my videos, I'm always uploading things. So yes, yeah, we can do clips. Yeah, save we can do in clips. Yeah. So I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to talk about though, before I forget. Basically, I feel like last thing to close this out is I think our DNA could possibly come from whales and dolphins and fish. I don't necessarily believe that all Anunnaki are bad. I feel like there's something there that holds a key. I believe there's something within alchemy as well. And I believe it's important to stay open-minded to all the downloads that you're receiving and everything that you're getting. So that's what I'll say to close this out. I will be making another live stream soon. So I love you guys. Thank you. Bye.